Good day, ma'am. Today, as a group, we will be presenting our group research, but before we will proceed, I will be honored to bring in or introduce my co-researchers, Acena Ruel, Cantillo Christine, Duero Kelso, and yours truly, Navarro Princess Alexa. We have the assigned topics that each of us is allowed to expound it. Acena Ruel is assigned to discuss research methodology and analysis, Cantillo Christine, schematic diagram and scope and limitation, Duero Kelso, results and conclusion, and lastly, I, Princess Alexa Navarro, assigned to tackle the title, abstract, and statement of the problem. So without further ado, I'll commence. Our research entitled People's Mischievous Behaviors in CARCANMADCARLAN area towards the frontline workers of COVID-19 pandemic, its reasons and adverse effects. We chose to have this research to find out the reasons and as well the effects of it on the frontline workers. Also, we conducted this since it has relevance to what is our occurrence in today's season. So next is abstract. The aim of this study is to determine the impact of mischievous behavior of people towards frontline workers. The selected perceptions are based on the residents of CARCANMADCARLAN. The study revealed that mischievous behaviors towards frontline workers bring emotional distress which results in poor performance. Therefore, the study found out it gives poor performance, emotional distress, etc. to the frontline workers since they had been receiving mischievous behaviors coming from the people that surround them. And now, let's proceed to the statement of the problem. This study is a comprehensive evaluation regarding the impact of mischievous behavior of people towards the frontline workers in CARCANMADCARLAN. In this, we evaluated what are the impacts of mischievous behavior of people towards them, and that needs the attention of awareness that could be able to resolve and to determine the cause of the problem.
Hi everyone, good day. This is Christine A. Cantillo, and today I'd like to talk to you about our topic entitled People's Mischievous Behaviors in CARCANMADCARLAN area towards the frontline workers of COVID-19 pandemic, its reasons and adverse effects. So, in my presentation, since I was assigned to tackle the schematic diagram and scope and limitation, just sit back and relax. Right now, I'd like to begin with my first point, which is schematic diagram. So let's go to schematic diagram. We presented 3 boxes. The first one is input, next is process, and last is output. In input, we have here government workers, students, teachers, drivers, and residents in CARCANMADCARLAN area. And last, survey questionnaires. While in process, we have here gathering and analyzing the gathered information from the respondents of their different behaviors toward frontline workers in this COVID-19 pandemic, determining respondents, and drawing out information from related literatures. Whereas, in output, we have here results showed based on the gathered data from the respondents about the mischievous behaviors of the people, as well as the reason and effects it could bring towards the frontline workers in the CARCANMADCARLAN area, and drawing out coping strategies and the programs aimed to deal with these problems based on the given results. And so, the schematic diagram shows and explains the continuous flow of the study, the input, process, and output presented by 3 geometric boxes. Figure 1 shows the continuous flow of the study. It contains the input of the respondents and the strategies used to conduct the study. Under the process, we analyze the data gathered from the said respondents. The expected output contains the entire outcomes of the study in which we gathered and provided data of the possible mischievous behaviors of the people living in the area of CARCANMADCARLAN, together with the reasons as well as the effects it could bring towards the frontline workers, specifically doctors and nurses during this COVID-19 pandemic. And now, let's proceed to scope and limitation. This study will aim to find out the reasons and effect of the mischievous behaviors and treatment of Filipinos in CARCANMADCARLAN area towards frontliners. The study was conducted in the province of Surigao del Sur, specifically the municipalities of Carrascal, Cantillan, Madrid, Carmen, and Lanuza. This study needs information and answer for identifying the mischievous acts as well as the reason and their impact on the frontline workers in this area. So as a result, the study revealed that the most mischievous behaviors found in CARCANMADCARLAN is discrimination, in which the frontline workers are often mocked at the same time people were avoiding them.
Again, I am Ruel de Acena, and for now, I will be presenting the research methodology and the analysis of the research. First, we have the research design. This is a qualitative research using a study design, according to Baxter and Jack 2008. A case study is an approach to qualitative research that facilitates exploration and phenomenon within its context, using a variety of data sources. It ensures that the issue is not explored through one lens but rather a variety of lenses, which allows for multiple facets of the phenomenon to be revealed and understood. It is an in-depth examination of a particular case of several cases. Research instrument. The research instrument of the study is a self-made questionnaire made by the researchers. The questionnaire will have the background information, which includes his or her name, gender, age, and profession, which is also optional. The next part of the questionnaire holds the questions regarding the purpose of the study. These questions are based on the problems the researchers are trying to address and may be referred to as a statement of the problem or objectives. The first division was about knowing the mischievous act of people towards the frontline workers, specifically doctors and nurses, and the second division was about how dealing this problem faced by the frontline workers, which has 15 declarative statements, each answerable by ratings strongly agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. Data collection and procedures. The data gathering of this study started in the month of March 2021. Self-made questionnaires by the researchers containing necessary questions with regards to this study's aim were distributed to 20 respondents in the area of CARCANMADCARLAN, in which 10 of the respondents were frontliners and the remaining 10 respondents were selected civilians. The questionnaires were then answered by the respondents. After gathering data from the conducted survey, the researchers then proceeded to interpret the data gathered.
Okay, so go J everyone. My name is Kelso S. Duero, one of the researchers who will present to you the main part of this research, which are the results. So as we know, the results are the answers of the respondents pertaining to the statement of the problem of this research, in which these answers or these informations were crucial to the success of this research. Table 1 shows the very first problem of this research. It is a very important problem that needed to be addressed because it serves as a guideline to test the level of knowledge and wisdom of our respondents of what is mischievous behavior. In a case that did not understand these words, then they are not eligible to be a part of this research because how can they provide sufficient knowledge if they do not understand what is the word itself? So mischievous behavior, according to the respondents, are bad behaviors that can cause harm to the person the behavior is being directed to, either intended or not intended. These are wrong and inappropriate behaviors. These are also behaviors that can cause emotional distress and mischief. So therefore, the table 1 results shows that mischievous behaviors are bad behaviors or inappropriate behaviors of the people towards other people. These answers were correct and shows that our respondents have a sufficient knowledge to be a part of this research. Okay, table 2 presents to you what are the mischievous behaviors that are experienced or found in the CARCANMADCARLAN area. So, answer shows that it includes physical actions such as frequent use of disinfectants while sharing a room, a seat, or anything with a frontline worker. Another is total avoidance, in which people would tend to avoid interacting, talking, or affiliating with a frontline worker. Another is discrimination, in which frontline workers are often mocked and at the same time they are being blamed by the people they risk their lives for. Lastly, harsh words were directed unto them. The results in Table 2 shows that the mischievous behaviors experienced or found in CARCANMADCARLAN area were all negative behaviors. The third table shows the reasons of why people act mischievously towards frontline workers, which is one of the major problems that needed to be addressed on this research. So, the survey revealed that frontline workers would bring and would spread COVID-19 virus. Another reason of why people would act mischievously towards frontline workers is that they are very anxious for their own safety and the safety of their families, in which they are afraid of acquiring or getting infected with the virus. Lastly, they believed that frontline workers would spread fake information and results about the COVID-19 test results. So therefore, results in table 3 shows that all those reasons were all personal reasons of the perpetrators of why they would act mischievously towards frontline workers. Another major question that needed to be addressed on this research is shown in Table 4. The problem is, what are the possible effects of mischievous behaviors towards the frontline workers in CARCANMADCARLAN? So therefore, the possible effects of mischievous behaviors towards the frontline workers in CARCANMADCARLAN area, according to the respondents, includes emotional distress, which could result in poor performance. Another is a loss of the will and determination to protect and serve the country. They feel awful and unneeded, and it affects their psychological aspect, making them unmotivated in performing their duties and obligation, which is very severe if remain unsolved. So therefore, the results in Table 4 shows that the possible effects were all negative effects, in which it affects mostly the mental capacity of the frontline worker. So table 5 presents to you the possible coping strategies that could help lessen or stop the mischievous behaviors of the people in the CARCANMADCARLAN area towards the frontline workers. So these coping strategies includes conducting of orientations, campaign, and seminars which could give or provide awareness to the people about their behaviors, about the results, or about the impact of their behaviors. Also, controlling the situation, such as putting fines on those who disrespect and cause trouble to the frontline workers, is also a great coping strategies. Implementing strict protocols, and lastly, proposing a platform of spreading awareness about appreciation and respect to all of the frontline. The results in Table 5 shows the coping strategies that the people recommended or the respondents recommended, especially government officials, to stop or to lessen the mischievous behaviors that is experienced by the frontline workers in CARCANMADCARLAN. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Now, we will proceed to the analysis of the research. Ideas of what is mischievous behavior. The results presented in Table 1 reveal that mischievous behaviors are those bad, wrong, and inappropriate behaviors that can cause mischief, harm, emotional distress, which has a negative impact on an individual where the mischievous behavior is being directed to. Therefore, based on the answers stated in Table 1, I believe that the respondents understand well about our study, which we can then conclude that they will be qualified to answer the next survey questionnaires since they understood what is the topic and what is our research is all about. The mischievous behavior was found in the CARCANMADCARLAN area. Answers in Table 2 revealed that the mischievous behaviors that are experienced by frontline workers are that they are often discriminated against, mocked, and they are often blamed, saying that they manipulated the COVID-19 test results. They also suffer from harsh words and judgments from the people in their community, and sometimes they even feel unneeded or being disposed of because people will try to avoid them. Sometimes a big crowd will disperse if a frontline worker is coming their way. Moreover, it appears from the majority of the responses that avoidance is the behavior that is most acted by the residents of CARCANMADCARLAN towards the frontline workers, avoiding them whenever they see them. Reasons why people would act mischievously upon seeing those frontline workers in their area. According to the answers presented in Table 1, the survey revealed that the reason why people act mischievously towards the frontline workers is that they highly regard their own safety above all else. They believe that if they interact with those frontline workers, they are prone and more vulnerable to the virus, putting them at a high risk to be infected with COVID-19, which is their greatest fear. Also, it was found out that the people feel anxious, afraid, and is uncomfortable if a frontline worker is in their area since they believe that they spread fake information and results about the COVID-19 test. The effects of mischievous behavior towards the frontline workers. The given data in Table 4 shows the possible effects of the mischievous behavior towards the frontline workers. From the data gathered, all of these affect the frontline workers negatively. These are loss of will to protect and serve their fellow countrymen, unmotivated to do their obligation, and they feel awful and unneeded. All of these could cause them to be physically and mentally weak, which results in poor performance in combating the COVID-19 virus. Moreover, emotional distress stands out as the most common effects of mischievous behaviors towards them. These results are in line with the online survey conducted from February 19 to March 6, which include 2,000 Chinese participants. They found out that medical health workers were more likely to experience emotional distress such as disturbances, anxiety, and etc. The possible solutions proposed to lessen or stop the mischievous behaviors of the people in CARCANMADCARLAN towards frontline workers. Table 5 shows the possible solutions that have the potential to lessen or either stop the mischievous behaviors of the people in CARCANMADCARLAN towards frontline workers. It includes conducting orientations, advocacy campaigns, seminars, and etc. that could help to raise awareness and educate the people of the harmful impact their mischievous behaviors can cause to the frontline workers. Putting fines and implementing strict protocols is also a very excellent solution that could help control the people under discrimination towards frontline workers. And now, let's hear Mr. Kelso Duero for the results and conclusion.
Okay, so conclusion. So based on the data that have been gathered and the revealed results, the most common mischievous behaviors found in CARCANMADCARLAN area is discrimination, in which the frontline workers are often mocked and at the same time, people were avoiding them. This poses negative effects on the physical and mental health of the frontline workers because it makes them suffer from emotional distress, which reduces their sense of duty and obligation, as well as decreases their overall performance when it comes to dealing with things related to COVID-19. For this, the study had revealed a list of coping strategies that could help lessen and stop the mischievous behaviors of the people in CARCANMADCARLAN, which includes seminars, orientations, campaign, and implementing fines and strict protocols that could provide awareness, value, and respect of the people towards the frontline workers. Thus, we the researchers concluded that the frontline workers here in CARCANMADCARLAN should be respected. They must also be respected, loved, and be cared for. We must stop discriminating against them. Instead, we must support them, for they are the people that risk their lives for our own safety. Okay, so for the recommendations, we highly recommended our research paper for those students who will also tackle about or would like to dig deeper about the effects, the reasons that mischievous behaviors could bring or the impact that it could bring to the society during this time of the pandemic. So for any questions and recommendations, please comment down below and we will address any questions that is related to this research. Thank you and God bless everyone.